tournament in 2022. Perhaps Beer's greatest accomplishment was ensuring Wyoming was one of 6 states in the country to complete an American Legion baseball season during the COVID pandemic, even after the American Legion National Organization canceled its national sponsorship that year. Beers also launched the Class A All-Star Game in 2022. Now, on a personal note, even though he's from Riverton, Cody Beers grew up in Cody, and he graduated from high school the same year as me. And I grew up in a little town 22 miles down the road called Powell, and we were absolutely bitter, hated rivals. And we used to get the better of him in almost every sport, but Cody got the better of us in baseball, and he reminds me of that every time I see him. Big congratulations to Cody Beers, well deserved.
And now please welcome our second inductee from Cheyenne, Ty Lane. Ty enters the Hall of Fame as both a Cheyenne Post 6 baseball player and coach. As a player, Lane is considered one of the greatest shortstops in state history. Lane played 5 years for the Sixers varsity squad, starting at shortstop for 4 of those years and earning All-State honors 3 times. Lane played on 4 Wyoming State AA championship teams and was selected to play on the American Legion national team and the USA baseball trials. In college, Lane started at shortstop for 4 years, beginning his career at New Mexico Junior College. He was an academic All-American at Mississippi Gulf Coast in 2009-2010 and was part of the only Regis University Conference Championship team in 2012. In his college career, Lane was a .323 hitter. Lane's accomplishments as a coach and manager in the Post 6 program are just as astonishing as those as a player, if not more. He won 3 state championships as an assistant coach from 2012 to 2015 before taking over as the program manager in 2016. In his 8.5 seasons at the helm of the program, Lane was twice named the Wyoming American Legion Baseball Manager of the Year in 2016 and 2022. As the Sixers manager, Lane won 502 games with a winning percentage of .759. His team won 7 state AA championships and won Wyoming's first American Legion Baseball Regional Championship in 2023. The 2023 team made it to the American Legion World Series, where it made it all the way to the semifinals. Ladies and gentlemen, Ty Lane. Our third and final inductee, also from Cheyenne, Phil Maggard. Phil enters the Hall of Fame based upon his extraordinary contributions as a volunteer. He is currently in his 15th year as the president of the board of directors for Cheyenne Post 6, and incredibly his 17th year as a member of the board. During Maggard's time leading the organization, Cheyenne Post 6 baseball has won 15 state championships, finished as the regional runner-up in 2022, and made it to the American Legion World Series semifinals in 2023. During his tenure on the board, more than 60 players from Cheyenne have gone on to play baseball in college. In addition to his tireless volunteerism for the Sixers, Maggard served as the local chairperson for the state AA tournaments in 2011, 2013, and 2018, and will serve in that role at this week's state tournament. He also spearheaded the successful bid for Cheyenne to host the 2015 and 2016 American Legion inductee Cody Beers to help avoid cancellation of the Legion baseball season in Wyoming during the COVID pandemic. Along with Beers, Maggard was instrumental in ensuring American Legion baseball was played in Wyoming in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Maggard. Over the past few years, and with the help of corporate sponsors, Wyoming American Legion Baseball has been able to invest funds, which has allowed us to develop a scholarship program. The goal was to provide a $500 scholarship for one graduating senior from both our single A and double A programs. 2025 will be our first year to award these scholarships. Tonight we want to award one of the scholarships to a young man from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Please welcome Payson Camerad. Payson has a 3.683 grade point average and will be attending Hastings College, where he will pursue a nursing degree. He's an active member of the FFA and has participated in various community service events with the fire department. Was active in the Kiwanis Bike Drive and the Cheyenne Firefighters Christmas Tree Drive. Payson is primarily a pitcher for the Hawks. In 2025, he started in 13 games, struck out 18 hitters, and held the opponents to a .331 batting average. Payson has been a team leader both on the field and in the dugout, and is a positive influence on the entire team. He has accepted a baseball scholarship from Hastings College, where he will continue his pitching career. Wyoming American Legion Baseball proudly presents its 2025 Scholarship Award to Payson Cameron. And now let's turn things over to Commissioner Sims, David Settle, and Phil Maggard, who will recognize our All-State players, Pitcher of the Year, Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year honorees.
Picture. How about now? Sorry, I'm loud. I work in radio. All right, I get the fun part for the fourth straight year to announce our postseason honors here at the AA level of American Legion Baseball. We're going to start with second team All-State honorees this year. And first up, from the Casper Oilers, Dylan Miner. Also from the Casper Oilers, Brandon Nowakowski. And the third honoree from the Casper Oilers, Cole Pexton. Congratulations to these three guys. Hang around. We're going to get a group photo here in a moment. Moving on to the Cheyenne Hawks, second team all. Maybe. Okay, there we go. From the Cheyenne Hawks.
Same thing happened with like hit earlier this year, didn't it? They tried to hit earlier this year. There's always a dead spot right there in almost every field I've been to.
We'll try this again. From the Cheyenne Hawks, Gage Broda. And also second team All-State from the Cheyenne Hawks, Cooper Hassler. Next up, our honorees, second team All-State from the Cheyenne Sixers. This young man was second team All-State last year, Marcus George. Second team All-State from the Sixers, Zach Hall. Second team All-State after being a second team selection last year, Nolan Horton. Also from the Sixers, Anthony Pacheco. And from the Sixers, Broden Robbins. Moving on down to the Gillette Riders. First up, second team All-State this year, Jarrett Black. Also from the Riders, Ethan Hecker. And the third, second team All-State honoree from Gillette, Kason Loftus. Next up, we have second team All-State from Laramie, T.R. Richardson. And also from Laramie, Larson Westnitzer. Next up, second team All-State honors from the Rock Springs Stallions, Landon Oliver. And also from the Stallions, Damian Valerio. Last but not least, because we're going in alphabetical order, from Sheridan, Dom DeStefano. Also second team All-State from the Troopers, Gunnar Lamb. And the final player, second team All-State from Sheridan, Griffin Switzenberg. Stay right here. This is the sweet spot. Big round of applause. Second team All-State honorees in 2025. Now on to our first team All-State honorees. Starting with the Casper Oilers, Ryan Devereaux. Also from Casper, Tanner Hager. Also from the Oilers, Jack Nichols. And the fourth honoree from Casper, he was a first team All-State selection last year, so this is his second year in a row, Holden Christensen. Our next team from the Cheyenne Sixers, our first honoree is Kay. Kay. There we go. Now on to the Sixers, Kate Coates. Our next honoree from the Sixers was second team All-State last year. He's first team this year, Landon McAnally. And from Cheyenne, second team in 2023, first team last year, first team this year, Braden Pearson. Next up. Check. Okay, there we go. Next up from the Gillette Rioters, this is his fourth All-State honor. 2 times second team, and this year is his second straight first team All-State selection, Carver Partlow. The next honoree from the Riders, third straight year, first team All-State, Seth Peterson. Our third honoree from Gillette, 3 times a second team All-State selection, first team this year, Grayson Sargent. And the fourth, first team All-State honoree from Gillette, third straight year earning first team honors, Riley Schilling. We continue now with our first team All-State selections from Laramie. First up, Diego Herrera. Also from Laramie, first team All-State, Trace Looney. And the third member from the Rangers, second team All-State 2 years ago, makes his second straight first team All-State selection, Ben Malone. next honoree is from Rock Springs. He was second team All-State last year, first team All-State this year. From the Stallions, Ryan Zotti.
Cameron, where you going?
We're down to our last 4 honors. First one from Sheridan, 3rd straight year, first team All-State, Avon Barney. Also from the Troopers, Will Greer. The third honoree, who was second team All-State last year, first team this year, Tanner Hamrick. And our final first team All-State selection in 2025, as voted on by the coaches from Sheridan, Blaine Phillips. Give it up for our first and second team All-State AA American Legion Baseball players in the 2025 season. We're not done yet, though. We've got some special awards to hand out. First of all, our Pitcher of the Year in 2025 from the Cheyenne Sixers, Braden Pearson. We have Co-Players of the Year this year from Casper, Ryan Devereaux. And our Co-Player of the Year from Gillette, Seth Peterson. Now we've got Co-Coaches of the Year this year. First up, from the Oilers, Tanner Gailey. from the Gillette Riders, Nate Perlybird.
All right, we got Flyover and Color Guards leaving now. What are we at in the songs? No, go ahead and go into the next one. We'll be okay going to the next one. Perfect. We'll go after that one. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Flight leader for Flyover is Captain Ross E. Campora from Shepherdstown, West Lygott, Virginia. His co-pilot tonight is Captain Seth Knight from Monroe, Louisiana. Their special missions aviators are Senior Airman Tyler Pansy from Boston, Massachusetts, and Airman First Class C.U. Luke from Sacramento, California. Dog 2 is being flown by Captain Jimmy Niss of Oak Hills, California. His co-pilot is Major Stephen Escoffe from Fairborn, Ohio. Their special missions aviators are Senior Airman Kyle Branson from Terre Haute, Indiana, and Airman First Class Jeffrey Norland from Greenville, Texas. Let's give them a round of applause.
Perfect.
Throwing out today's first pitch is Colonel Brian Bennett. Colonel Bennett is from Langhorne, Pennsylvania, and is the 6th commander of the 582nd Helicopter Group. The group consists of 5 units across 3 states and has been
All right.
preparing the Air Force missile complexes for 10 years. However, helicopter supported FP-1 dates back to the late 1960s, with the UH-1 and arriving on station in the early 1970s. Today, the men and women of the 582nd One final note as the players exit the field, we'd like to thank Blue Sky Restoration for sponsoring the TP. All of the 8 baseball teams that are here for the tournament get a free meal tonight, courtesy of Blue Sky Restoration. Thank you. And with that said, let's play ball.
Because I even see Booker.
Really?
Yeah. It's already 7:15. I just hear
Microphone problems.
And a pleasant good evening to folks that are joining us here across the airwaves and on our YouTube channel that just got a chance to check out and watch the opening ceremonies. Got kicked off at 6:30, and Phil Maggard, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I got to give him a shout out. He was spot on. He said 40 minutes or so, and he was right on the money, about 7:12. Teams out there getting themselves loosened up. We're expecting about 10 to 15 minutes of infield and outfield practice before they get them out onto the diamond, and we should be getting rolling here just about 7:30, 7:40 for first pitch of the final game of the opening round of the state tournament. It has been a round that has lived up to expectations in terms of both results and also some flashy pitching that we've seen out there on the mound so far. Sheridan started the day off, and they were the storyline on the start of the day, taking a no-hitter into the 6th inning. Barney ended up showing exactly why he is one of the top pitchers in the state and why he is looking to try and come back again on Friday to get one more opportunity to pitch. Nearly no hits Laramie and the Rangers. They end up winning that game 6-0. The Rangers did get a hit in the 6th inning, and that would be it for Barney. He would be available if the Rangers can make it all the way to Friday, throwing over those 65 pitches. Gillette then took on Rock Springs, and the Stallions were able to keep it close for a little bit, at least 2 innings. Then in the 3rd inning, Gillette exploded. They were able to push ahead to make it 9-0. They got their 10th run in the bottom of the 4th and closed it out in 5 innings to dispatch Rock Springs into the losers bracket and elimination side of the pool in a 10-0 victory. Then Casper took on the local Hawks. The Cheyenne Hawks gave them a fight as well. That game was 6-2 going into the 5th inning. Casper then answered back to a 2 spot in the top of the 4th inning from the Hawks and was able to walk away with that one 9-2 in a 7-inning affair. And that leaves us into the nightcap, where the Jackson Giants will look to try and put a little bit of a stick inside of the bicycle spokes of the Sixers, who are looking to try and make it into the semifinals once again here at the state tournament. Sixers enter the game at 44-23 on the season, coming in off of a nice tournament appearance, 3-1 down in Grand Junction, where their only loss came to the Oysters team, which is a group of collegiate players coming back. They went 11-3 in conference play, ended up tied with the Casper Oilers, got the tiebreaker with the Casper Oilers, and got the number 2 seed in the bracket. They will be the home seed in tomorrow's contest, assuming they would win, taking on the Casper Oilers. Sheridan and Gillette would be the 3:30 game, with 9:30 and 11:30 games between Sheridan and the Hawks, and then the of course Jackson and the Sixers loser would end up taking on Rock Springs in the other affair tomorrow night. For us, we're going to step aside. We have some sponsors to thank and a pregame interview to get to. First, let's thank those sponsors before we step too far aside on this one, including Affordable Computer Repair, the Bread Basket Bakery, Key of Cheyenne, Capital Lumber Company, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Frontier Days, Halliday Subaru, Wyoming's Department of Transportation, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, Two Doors Down, Burns Insurance Agency, First Tier Bank, the Gill Window Company, Cheyenne Depot Museum, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Jason Gilbert, your Allstate Insurance Agent, Rock on Wheels, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Platte Valley Bank, The Coin Shop, and Pepsi of Cheyenne, bringing you the scoreboard sponsorship of today's contest. Huge shout out to all of our sponsors. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we will have a chance to step aside and talk with Brad Barker, the head man in charge of the Sixers. That's all coming up on your home for Sixers baseball, 1480 K-Ray.
Hi, this is Larry Proative talking about Affordable Computer Repair. Lanny at Affordable Computer Repair in Cheyenne reminds you whenever your personal computer, laptop, or iPad is not performing to your standards, then it's time to call Affordable Computer Repair in Cheyenne at 307-256-8971 and let Lanny's many years of experience fix or address the problems that may exist. Also, watch out for those bad elements out there to harm your computer. Affordable Computer Repair is the perfect choice to consult you on the proper maintenance for your systems. Remember, it's Affordable Computer Repair in Cheyenne. Please call 256-8971.
If you're looking for a quick breakfast or lunch, you're looking for the Bread Basket. If you're busy and can't take time out for a healthy breakfast, stop in and try one of our breakfast burritos loaded with potatoes, eggs, cheese, bacon, and our homemade green chili wrapped in a 12-inch flour tortilla. Or, for a fast lunch, try our delicious cabbage burgers, hamburger, onions, and cabbage wrapped in bread dough and baked to a golden brown. Treat yourself to a fast breakfast or lunch today at the Bread Basket Bakery and Sandwich Shop, 1819 Maxwell Avenue, Cheyenne's hometown bakery. Wrapped in bread dough and baked to a golden brown. Treat yourself to a fast breakfast or lunch today at the Bread Basket Bakery and Sandwich Shop, 1819 Maxwell Avenue, Cheyenne's hometown bakery.
We're celebrating the grand opening of our new showroom with a sale on new Kias. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne. Right now, come in for savings on a new 2025 Kia Carnival, which will give you more features, safety advancements, comfort, and much more. There's no need to go anywhere else. We've upgraded our facilities to provide you with an even better service for an exceptional car buying experience. Come in, call 77.
Back out to Powers Field here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Gorgeous day for some baseball action. We had a chance to sit down and talk with Brad Barker, the head man in charge.
Welcome back out on 1480 K-Ray. Caleb Bergraff alongside of Brad Barker. And state tournament time, Brad, this always really the time, not just when the rubber hits the road, but I think when the excitement kind of gets peaked up for everybody. And this is no different. Really competitive field this year, and you got to be excited for your guys' shot.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go. We had a good week of practice, and, the anticipation has finally come upon us, and hopefully we're ready to go tonight.
When you talk a little bit about Jackson, it's a team you had to go to their place. They haven't had the chance to come here yet for a game. How much does the home field play a difference into that, in a team that you already had a lot of success against over in Jackson?
There's certainly advantages and disadvantages being at home, but anytime you're in front of your home crowd, there's definitely that big advantage, and to have the crowd behind us and feel momentum, it's always a positive thing.
When you're the home team, you also kind of end up with the festivities kind of leading up to the edge of that one, and it's a great thing for the kids to experience that and be a part of that nighttime game. And this is a team that's usually handled that really well. If you go back to Jackson when it was in there, they were in that same nighttime game and ended up having a really good performance in that one. Didn't really let the festivities get to them. What's your message to the guys to keep them on point for that?
It's the same thing. It's play next pitch, and that's all we're thinking about. We're not. Once we step between the lines, we have one job to do, and it's to take the fight out on the field, and that's it.
Two guys on the lineup have really been kind of focal points. Nolan Horton and Landon McAnally have been kind of not just fire starters, but kind of the ones that get the blaze going even more after you get that spark on base. What's it mean to have them have good performances to get things going for them and get their tournament off to the right start?
Those two guys, it's very important. They have they've been through this. They've been through it all. Both guys, played in the national, in the World Series, and they've been through numerous state titles or state games. So relying on them to lend their experience and lend their focus really is important to our guys.
Lastly, Kean going out on the mound for you guys, and he is coming off of a really, really good performance against a good Oysters Black team down in Grand Junction. Went 4 innings, did not give up any runs in those innings, and really could have gone further than those 4 innings, but it was just kind of pitch count trying to get guys out there. He's got to give you a confident piece going out there that really lets you rest some of your really key pieces going into some important games.
Yeah, Kean, he's been through the gauntlet with the Hawks. He's pitched in big games his whole life, and I assume at this point this will be his biggest game, and he's stayed locked in all week and had coming off a handful of good starts is really good for him. Let's hope he can keep that momentum and keep that focus.
Coach, appreciate the time and good luck as you get ready for tonight's opener.
Yep, thanks.
Back with more Sixers baseball after this on 1480 K-Ray.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Serving Cheyenne in the area since 1965, Capital Lumber Company is still the place for all your lumber and hardware needs. Whether you do it yourself or have it done professionally, get all the tools, paints, fixtures, and accessories for every part of your home today at family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne, celebrating 60 years in business.
From your head to your toes, we're here to keep you moving. With consultation, treatment, and rehabilitation all in one location, it's easier than ever to get the level of care you deserve. Cheyenne Regional. We inspire great health.
Sixers getting set to take out to the Diamond as they are the host squad at this year's state championships and looking to get it off to the right start against the Jackson Giants. Here's a look at your starting lineups for the two rosters. The Giants, as the road team, were in the sky blue uniforms, not quite a powder blue, more, again, that sky blue with that paler look to it. And then they got the white uniform Giants across the front, white numbers on the back outlined in dark blue, gray pants with red uniform domes on the top of those looks as for the lineup, Brendan Menke will be leading things off as the catcher. David Garcia doing the shortstop is at short and batting in the 2 spot. Sam Peterson will be the DH batting third. Wyatt Moore is at first and doing the cleanups. I know I'm going to butcher this name, so I'm going to apologize already for it. Aikika Cope is going to be out in left field. Aikika Cope. Derringer Holding is going to be in center fielder. Wyatt Collins at third base. Milo Gray in right field. And Bryce Greenblatt will be at second base for the Jackson Giants in that order. They'll be working with Brandon Torres on the mound once we get to see him in the bottom of the first inning. As for the Sixers, they're going to look to Kian McDonough on the mound. McDonough's been strong for them so far this season. Really been one of those young arms that they're really looking forward to. And it is a young really bullpen and really just nest of arms that they've got down in that left field pen. So he'll be looking to try and get things off to the right start. Catching is Braden Camerad. He has been the best catcher for the Sixers all season long. The infield from first to third, Landon McAnally at first. Second base is Quentin King. Third base, Colin Crecelius. And that short, Cade Coates will round out the 4 around the diamond. And in the outfield from left to right, Broden Robbins, Nolan Horton in center, and Anthony Pacheco out in right field for post 6 with the sun setting off in the distance. And managers meeting at the plate. Let's get to know our starting pitcher for this game for the Sixers a little bit better. As we mentioned, McDonough has been very involved with the Sixers pitching staff so far this season. He has not necessarily... Well, he's been impressive. There isn't any necessarily to it. 7 starts and 14 appearances, 36 innings of work for him. He does have an 0-2 win-loss record on the season so far, so trying to get him that first victory of the year. 4.58 the earned run average. Only has struck out 29 during those 36 innings, so does pitch a bit more to contact and has walked 26 batters. But batting average against sits at just 221, so it's more of a marathon than a sprint when it comes to McDonough. He's going to be looking to try and go through quite a few arms in this one. Someone does get out on base behind him. They have stolen bases 71% of the time when McDonough's out there on the mound, and he also has hit 7 batters, so he has had some potential problems in terms of command and giving up some walks, but that's where the Sixers offense is hoping to try and also get something going in the bottom of this first inning when we get there against Brandon Torres. Shout out to everyone tuning into this broadcast once again out there across the network. We also want to give a shout out to Shine Frontier Days. They are wrapped up and into the books, but it was a fantastic event, an absolutely wonderful week and a half worth of festivities, some records being set all throughout it, and we hope that you guys got a chance to go check it out. Concert series was fantastic as well, with Frontier Nights once again putting on a fantastic show, and we were happy to be a part of it here at 1480 K-Ray and looking forward to it next year. And again, big thanks to them for supporting athletics and sports here on 1480 K-Ray. Umpire with a couple of quick words on something that was possibly in play over there in the dugout. And looks like final couple pitches coming up for Kian McDonough, as he will be going against Brendan Menke, the catcher for the Jackson Giants, a left-handed batter it looks like for the Jackson Giants. The first time these two teams faced off against each other, it was the Sixers coming away with the sweep that was up in Jackson. Didn't really get a whole lot of opportunities to face off against Jackson so far this year for post 6. Tough when they're on that far side of the state when you got out-of-state opponents who sometimes are a quicker and better matchup for you than the ones that are in-state, so you don't necessarily get those double headers. Got a 7-5 win the first matchup against the 2 and an 8-1 win the second matchup against the 2 against the Jackson Giants. First time around, it was a little bit of a battle, just the 2-run victory for the Sixers in that one. McDonough will peer in as the right-hander stares into Menke. We're ready to get going. And the first pitch misses away as the Giants' leadoff batter gets himself ahead in the count, 1-0. Gorgeous day. Temperatures have been sitting in the upper 80s, low 90s all day as this pitch fouled away. Count goes to 1-1. Little bit of a breeze, but just enough to really make things comfortable here at the ballpark today. Rolling left to right across the diamond. As McDonough's 1-1 delivery misses outside, and the count moves to 2-1. Leadoff batter on with the sun setting off in the distance. Great crowd on hand. Parking is our boss, Larry Peroetti, who came in to say it. That pitch missing away. Count goes to 3-1 to the leadoff man for the Giants. Parking is, Larry Peroetti was saying, I'm parked down by number 9 of the golf course. It was a full parking lot today rolling into the stadium. So great crowd on hand, particularly for the opening ceremonies, as that pitch finds the inside corner, and the first count goes full to the leadoff man for the Giants. Of course, didn't help that you had Casper and the Hawks in the game prior to this one. That one misses outside. McDonough losing the first batter that he faces, and leadoff walk to the Giants. And David Garcia will step to the plate, the shortstop, batting from the right-hand side with the runner on first base. We'll see how much activity they have for that first base runner, and if they end up sending Menke at any point in time or just try to work him around. Got some bigger bats coming up behind in the hole. Sam Peterman and Wyatt Moore batting in the 3-4 spots for the Giants. As a bunt is popped up over to the left side, too far off of the bag was Menke, and he gets doubled up on the 5-3 line out to double play. Well done coming in from third base where Colin Crecilius was camped out there, charged hard and makes the throw, and the Sixers get a clean double play to put up their first 2 outs. Brings up Sam Peterman, designated hitter for the Jackson Giants, and a very different scene set in front of him as he steps to the plate and fouls off the first pitch. Count to 0-1. From 1 on and nobody out, and a sacrifice bunt to move them into scoring position to a double play instead. McDonough's delivery just a bit high, and the count evens at 1. Bottom of the first inning, Sixers will have the top of the order looking to try and strike. Cade Coates, Broden Robbins, and Landon McAnally as their scheduled 3. As McDonough's pitch inside and hits him on the shoulder. Sam Peterman will replace Brendan Menke over at first base after he was eliminated on the double play. So the Giants extend the inning a little bit longer. Wyatt Moore, who plays at first base, batting from the left-hand side. Not your typical stature of a first baseman when you think of him. A little bit more spindly. Looks out from the left-handed box, stands very upright as he takes the first pitch low and inside. And McDonough falls behind. 2 base runners in this inning. One of them cut down on the double play. Neither one of them via a hit, as McDonough's avoided the bat so far. And that one misses, though. Count goes to 2-1. Keane working cautiously on that outside corner. He's been very good on the inside when he's attacked that corner so far today. Winds and fires. That fastball finds the outside to get him back into the zone. 2-1. On deck for Jackson, Akika Cope, another right-handed batter to face off against McDonough. So you have the matchup waiting for you as the 3-1 count comes to fruition on a pitch outside. McDonough trying to avoid putting on a second Giant early on in this game. This is low with the 3-1 and the third free pass in this opening frame. And it puts a runner in scoring position for Akika Cope. Ikaika Cope, Ikaika Cope, as I appreciate the PA announcer there for saving me from embarrassment for the rest of this game. Ikaika Cope will step up to the right-handed batter's box. Left fielder today for the Jackson Giants, who have not gotten a hit but have extended the inning. 15 pitches for Kean McDonough. Just missing the zone too much right now. 10 of those 15 have been called a ball. He'll set, peers in, winds, fires, gets a pop-up. That should do it. Camrad peers up into the sky and near the fencing puts it away for out number 3. And on the first pitch, Cope is going to be set down. Good job by Camrad finding that one on the scamper to the backstop. And the Sixers put up a 0. We'll see if the offense can come up with some crooked numbers when we come back. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange serves up breakfast, lunch, and dinner each Monday through Saturday. And at Chick-fil-A, they don't have to stray from their menu. They're proud of what they do all the time. Chicken. Check them out online at CheyenneChicken.com and have them cater your next event. Use the convenient drive-thrus. Come inside or use the Chick-fil-A app to do your next order. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange.
During the month of June, as part of the Subaru Loves to Care initiative, Halliday Subaru is partnering with Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to provide warm blankets and messages of hope, written by our staff and customers to support patients facing cancer.
To learn more about what Halliday Subaru is doing for patients and their families in our community, visit HallidaySubaru.com.
Sixers heading into the bottom of the first inning in a tie game. No score, but 3 base runners for the Jackson Giants after walks. However, the 2 balls that were put in play, David Garcia line out into a double play, and Ikaika Cope with a pop out. So weak contact induced by McDonough. That's a good sign for the Sixers. Just needs to be able to find that command a little bit more. Offensively, we'll see what they can do against Brandon Torres. Cade Coates, Broden Robbins, and Landon McAnally, the leadoff batters for the Sixers. Nolan Horton, Anthony Pacheco, and Colin Crecilius in the middle, with Braden Pearson, Braden Camerad, and Quentin King closing out the starting at 9 for the Sixers. Jackson Giants in the field. Brendan Menke will be helping out Brandon Torres as the backstop. First baseman Wyatt Moore will be helped out by Bryce Greenblatt on the right side. Left side of the infield sees David Garcia at short and Wyatt Collins at third. Left fielder is Ikaika Cope, center field Derringer Holding, and the right fielder Milo Gray as the first pitch misses to Cade Coates to get us going here in the bottom of the first inning. Torres stands on the first base side of the rubbers. Time taken. Umpire wanted to make sure everybody was clear. Sixers had a cluster of athletes sitting in that kind of near corner, and the umpire clears them out of that kind of wedge there. Coaches, I think, are allowed to sit there. As you have some of the Jackson Giants coaching staff sitting there, but they did try to vacate the players clear of that. It is a bit of a hot spot. You want to make sure that they got a place to duck into. There's no backing up from that spot right there. As the next pitch swung on and missed by Coates. 1-1, bounced up to the plate. Looks like Torres, not a lot of velocity to what he throws. Kind of has some junk that he'll throw over the plate. Had a smile on his face after he sent that curveball into the turf about 10 feet in front of home. That one didn't even make it to the brown. 2-1 delivery to Coates. Inside, gets him. Neither team using their starting aces in this contest. Giants and Sixers playing a little bit of the strategy side of things in this opening round. For the Sixers, you're hoping not to have to burn through one of those starters to get through this game. And as the 2 seed, you shouldn't need to burn through it. Again, a team that you've handled fairly well in the Jackson Giants so far this year when it was at their place. Now you get the home opportunity as Broden Robbins steps in. And first pitch to Robbins, bunted at, ball missed by the catcher as Robbins pulled it back, and Coates scoots on up to second without the benefit of a bunt, and now Robbins can bat with a runner in scoring position, and a 1-0 count. Could things get a little bit crazy? You never know when you start seeing the ball flying around a bit, and right now the Giants already having some trouble with the fielding. 1-0 count. As Torres will peer in, time taken by the catcher. And this a very ominous start if you're the Jackson Giants to the way this game is getting going. You have some miscommunication issues, a bobble back behind home, the hit batter. Really 3 very, very ominous signs if you're the Giants, especially after you kind of got the heart settled down a little bit in the first inning when your offense was able to extend things. Torres now, after the brief meeting, will peer back in. Robbins from the left-hand side. Hitters count with a 1-0 favor. He'll bunt at it again. This one down the third base line. That one a beauty. No play anywhere to go. And Robbins with the infield single as Torres can do nothing but just eat it. And it's runners on the corners for post 6. Landon McAnally will step in to that left-handed batter's box. So small ball early on from the Sixers, paying dividends as they've got runners on the corners. Wouldn't be shocked if you don't see Broden Robbins in motion at some point in time in the next few pitches, especially with not a whole lot of velocity coming from Brandon Torres, who has found himself in quicksand immediately in the bottom of the first inning. Runner does take off first pitch, throw down to second base, well behind, and up to second with a stolen base is Broden Robbins. Coach stays at first. Pitch was called a ball as the count goes to 1-0. McAnally, who was just named to first team All-State in the pregame show or pregame festivities. One of 3 first-team All-Staters, one of 8 total All-Staters from the Sixers this year. As McAnally takes low and the count goes to 2-0 on the first baseman for post 6. Joining McAnally on that first team, Cade Coates and Braden Pearson. Pearson more for his work with the glove and on the bump, but has also done it with the bat. McAnally definitely with the bat as he pokes this one out to left center field. That one dying is going to slip just out of reach of the glove of a great effort from the left fielder, Cope. Slips off of his glove and down, having to stay at second base is Robbins, but McAnally gets the little bloop single to drop for an early RBI, and the Sixers with a 1-0 lead on the Pepsi scoreboard, also on their second hit of the game. Nolan Horton will step up, the center fielder, with runners now on first and second. Will try to extend this advantage. Right-handed batter, also named second team this year, second consecutive year that Horton has been named to the second team All-State. Takes a pitch upstairs. That's a ball as he also showed bunt but pulled back. Giants finding themselves in some deep water. Makes sense. I don't know if it's still Shark Week. I know last week was Shark Week, but right now the Sixers like some circling sharks. As Horton pulls down another bunt, count goes to 2-0. They smell the blood in the water right now for sure, as the Giants have yet to record an out in the bottom of the first inning, already a run across. And some key cogs for the Sixers coming up with some nice pieces of hitting. Horton, 2-0 count against a very methodical working Torres. Keeps his own tempo out there on the mound as he'll wind, fire to the plate. That one misses. Both runners take off. Catcher had trouble with it as Menke couldn't get it out of the glove, and a double steal gets the Sixers stolen bases number 2 and 3. McAnally and Robbins both in scoring position, and Horton with a 3-0 count. First base is open, though, with Anthony Pacheco waiting on deck with a little bit of pop in his bat. He's got a home run this year. Inside pitch misses for ball 4, and that's 4 straight out of the zone to Nolan Horton. He doesn't even have to think about taking the bat off of the shoulders with Anthony Pacheco stepping up to the plate. 2 hits, a hit batter, and a walk. 1 run already across, nobody out, no extra base hits, nothing really hit with pop by the Sixers yet, but just moving the dial enough to keep the carousel running. 1-0 Sixers lead as Pacheco takes an upstairs strike. Maybe expanded a little bit on that zone to the higher upper echelons of it. Pacheco ahead in the count, or behind in the count. First time that we've seen a batter behind in the count to Torres. See how he attacks. He'll not attack. Ends up hitting him in the left shoulder, and the hit by pitch is going to move runners around. Colin Crecelius will step up to the batter's box, the third baseman for the Sixers. With a run across, 2 of them now, in fact, in the inning, and still nobody out. The Sixers making this one look simplistic against the Jackson Giants, as a conversation going to be had early. The head man in charge of the Jackson Giants heading out to his pitcher and wants to talk things over with Brandon Torres. As we said, Torres not the number 1, but you think you were expecting at least a little bit more of a fight from Torres so far in this one. So far, just not competitive in a lot of the pitches that he's throwing. Missing to the outside, missing to the inside. Only has actually thrown, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pitches total into the strike zone so far today, and that might do it for him, as we might have a pitching change coming up already for the Jackson Giants. Umpires gathering things together, and he's going to head to the dugout, and we'll see what exactly takes place on this one. Gary Harley having some quick words. I think he was asking what was going on, and do we need to pull the players back to the dugout? Looks like a cleat switch. So he's swapping the shoes. I think maybe that could be part of the problem. He had on his metal spikes. And if you're on a turf mound with metal spikes, that can definitely cause you some nervousness, much less some problems throwing the ball. So I think they're switching to the rubber spiked cleats now. And that's the only thing I can think of that he would be swapping out. But he is doing a shoe switch. So the tires are getting changed out. And we'll see what he ends up doing with that one. You can see the catcher's got metal spikes on too back behind home plate. So it wouldn't shock me necessarily if there's just a little bit of confusion on not understanding. They do have dirt as their mound out in Jackson, so not necessarily used to pitching on turf quite as much. As everything does seems to be put back into order. I think they're going to give him a couple pitches just to get himself loosened up again and back into the zone and get a feel for the new shoes underneath. That's got to be the weirdest part about it, because cleats feel different, and it's got to be weird stepping out there with a different type of just grip to your feet, and your feet just so important about feeling comfortable. So they get Colin Crecelius the word, and he is going to be ready to go. Umpire says, let's play. And after a slight delay, we'll see what Torres can do with the new shoes. Looks a little bit more comfortable already. Does get the strike. It looks like just not worried about tripping as much anymore, or at least getting some grip with those soft spikes. Those do tend to have a little bit more just kind of security. There is some activity still for the Jackson Giants going down to their bullpen, although a pop-up back behind second is going to help things out. Mark Garcia gets over to the ball, and on 2 pitches, maybe it was the cleats. You never know sometimes, and it can be weird stuff like that in baseball that can flip scripts. As Braden Pearson, the designated hitter, will step into the batter's box, another right-handed swinger. Pearson has had some inconsistencies at the plate so far, but I'm sure the last week with no games, chance to get into the cages and sort some things out. Against a pitcher that struggled so far with his command, Pearson cuts at the first pitch he sees. Ground ball over towards third. They'll get one on the force. Another run comes across. It's a 5 unassisted fielder's choice that gets the RBI for Pearson. Pacheco goes up to second. Horton is cut down on the play, and McAnally scores the 3rd run of the game for post 6. Braden Camerad to the plate. Still 2 runs out there waiting to come home for the Sixers to try and really stamp down on what's been a perfect start to this first inning for post 6. Pacheco, good wheels over at second base. You put a single out there, he could possibly come around to score and get that green light from Coach Harley. Inside pitch, misses, ball gets away, but Pacheco, not as good of a sight line to the ball as over at first base where Pearson was itching to go. Pacheco ends up holding on to the brakes, and he'll stay there at second base. Didn't really get very far from the catcher, so I think smarter play by Pacheco not to necessarily take off. 1-0 count, though, to Camerad. Torres, who, I mean, when I say works on the first base side of the rubber, his toe is on that side of the rubber. Fires a fastball that's missed or inside and fouled to the left side. Camerad out in front on that pitch. I think that's going to be the biggest thing the Sixers might struggle with offensively, is trying to slow those swings down going into this game. Torres only throwing 60s, maybe, on some of these pitches. I mean, he's not necessarily bringing a whole lot of velo. He's not lobbing them. They're not eephus pitches or anything like that, as that one misses outside to move the count to 2-1. But they are definitely pitches that you have to wait on, like the Bugs Bunny era slow ball. 2-1 delivery. At a hanging breaking ball that's grounded towards shortstop. Garcia with another strong throw gets the out. 6-3 on the putout. Giants, after a very rough start, escape with only 3 runs given up in the inning. Sixers leave a few out there on the pond, but they have a nice advantage. 3-0. We head to the top of the second inning. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
The players return to the field. Up to bat are the Warriors. First up, number 7. There's the pitch. It's a hit, good for a single. Next, number 18. He swings, line drive to center field. 15 steps up, another hit. Bases loaded now as number 40 approaches the plate. It's headed for the fence. Grand slam, the Warriors win the game. Make it home safe. Buckle up, every passenger, every trip, every time.
Sometimes you're anticipating it. Sometimes it's unexpected. Occasionally it's something small. But most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. It's your best day ever. And Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is proud of the part we play in making each of them happen. Whether opening your first savings account or moving into your dream home, Meridian Trust is there for all your best days.
Nothing lead for the Sixers. Just 2 hits in that first inning, but 3 runs coming across the plate for Post 6, as they will send back out Kian McDonough with a new cushion. He'll face off against Derringer Holding, Wyatt Collins, and Milo Gray. It is 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Jackson Giant. Right-hander Holding works and takes the first pitch just away and low from McDonough. 16 pitches in the first inning for McDonough. Really only caused his own trouble out there. 2 walks and a hit batter. Got a double play on a bunt attempt as he misses outside with a 2-0 count. And got the pop out from Cope to close out the inning. Nice play by Camerad, ditching the mask to get back to it. 2-0 count, moves to 2-1 as the swing and a miss by Holding gets McDonough back into this at-bat. Nobody away in the top of the second inning. Jackson, they need to respond back after that last inning. They'll serve that one just up over the glove of McAnally, and a leadoff single for Derringer Holding is going to have the Jackson Giants with another leadoff man on. Back-to-back innings, they've been able to accomplish that with Wyatt Collins striding to the plate. Collins playing over at third base, batting in the 7 spot. Looks down the line to his coach, and now will get himself set. Had a chance to nearly get a double play in the bottom of the first inning on the defensive side. Had a ball rocketed right to him on 2 hops. Knocked it down and got the unassisted out as he takes this pitch upstairs for a ball to get ahead. But could not keep it within his vicinity in order to get it to the home plate in order to keep Landon McAnally from coming across with the 3rd run. That RBI would go to Braden Pearson on the fielder's choice as that pitch misses inside, and McDonough again behind a batter 2-0. It's the 3rd batter in the first 7 that he's faced that he's fallen behind 2-0. Trying to find that strike zone and give himself a little bit more of a push up the middle. This ball chopped up the middle. Coates ends up running into the umpire, still makes the play over at first as they get the out there. Umpire, who is a part of the field, again, it's not an interference call or anything on the umpires, will not necessarily cause the miscue, but you end up with just the 1 out on the play. I don't think they would have gotten 2 on the play. That ball was already halfway up the middle of the infield by the time you saw Holding already getting up to second base. So I don't think they would have gotten 2, but definitely put some rattles into the cage of Coates back there at shortstop. You got to be looking up for the umpire if you're jumping around. Milo Gray steps in. He swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. 0-1 with one out. Top of the second inning. 3-0 game on the Pepsi scoreboard with the Sixers in command of this one early on after they took advantage of free passes from the Jackson Giants in the first inning as that pitch misses and Gray sees the count even back up at 1-1. For all the traffic out there on the base paths, 4 runners out there so far for the Jackson Giants. Very efficient pitch count by McDonough. The walks haven't necessarily been elongated at bats, just had the 1 full count. He's been everywhere inside of the zone, just trying to find that strike zone a little bit more early on and stop falling behind so much. Gets the zone on the 2-1, evens the count up with Milo Gray, the right fielder, trying to bring home the first run for the Jackson Giants. Bryce Greenblatt, the number 9 batter, waits in the on-deck circle. Second baseman for Jackson. That one left in the middle of the plate, grounded towards short though. Coates collects, gathers, fires for out number 2. Up to third base on the play, does go holding, but if you can just get the out of the number 9 batter in the lineup, that's not going to cause any problems. Greenblatt, the second baseman, definitely still growing into his body. He is a youngster there, the baggy clothes, the baggy pants. And I can tell he's one of those talented young players that is looking to try and get that experience and reps at the state tournament. 1-0 count. As this one's spoiled foul, and Greenblatt sees the count go to 1-1. Sixers 9-1-2 due up. King, Coates, and Robbins. So they'll look to try and build on the 3-0 lead they currently hold as Greenblatt fouls that pitch away. Good bat to ball contact there on a fastball that was low and away. Set once again, McDonough. Chop towards second base. King hesitated on his run to the ball, but that was just to get a better bearing and timing on it. He flips over to McAnally for the out, and the Sixers, after giving up the leadoff single, strand that runner at third. We head to the bottom of the second inning, post 6, to build on a 3-0 lead on the Pepsi scoreboard when we come back on 1480 K-Ray.
Knock it out of the park with your family dinner tonight and score a home run with Two Doors Down. Two Doors Down menu selections are perfect for the active family. From gourmet burgers served with bottomless fries to soups and salads to the all-new platters. Two Doors Down, where you can enjoy a great dinner and still be able to take your family out to the ball game. Two Doors Down, 118 East 17th Street. For full menu and specials, go to twodoorsdown.net. Two Doors Down, flipping great burgers since 2009.
Visit the heart of Cheyenne's history at the Cheyenne Depot Museum. The Depot Museum is home to many events and is a National Historic Landmark as the last Grand Railroad station on the Transcontinental Route. See the narrow gauge UCNN model railroad, and don't forget to visit the Depot Gift Shop, where they have many unique gift ideas. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Cheyenne Depot Museum at 121 West 15th Street in the heart of downtown Cheyenne.
Sixers in command early on of this one. They got a 3-0 lead over the top of the Jackson Giants. Another shutdown inning from Kian McDonough. 2 of those under his belt. Quentin King will lead things off for the Sixers before flipping things around to the top of the order. Cade Coates and Broden Robbins all working against Torres, who returns after he found himself once he was able to swap the spikes. After the cleat swap, he ended up getting a pop out, a ground out, and a ground out to the next 3 batters. So we'll see if the magic cleats continue to work. Is this like I don't know how many people get this reference, the Like Mike movies back in the 90s. I don't know if those was 90s or early 2000s, but put on the shoes and you'd suddenly gain the abilities. First pitch misses to Quentin King, and the count goes to 1-0. Sixers hoping that's not the case for sure. They want to continue to keep this riddle as easy to solve as possible. King, the only man left out of the party in the first inning, cuts at the second pitch he sees. Line drive out to right center field, and playing shallow out in center was Holding. That's going to be at least a double for King. He'll pull up there at second base with a leadoff shot out to center field. So King gets off to a good start with his campaign at the state tournament. Cade Coates will stride to the plate. He was hit by a pitch on a 2-1 count. Came around to score later on a Landon McAnally single that was floated out to left center field. First extra base hit of the game for either team coming from Quentin King. He's got a couple of those this year too. Right-hander Coates, slightly open stance as he steps in. Powder blue gloves on the hands as he waves the black bat behind his left shoulder. Ball again bounced up to the catcher. Now thrown down the third base line. Not only is it a wild pitch for King to move up 90 feet, he'll take a 180 on an E2 that allows the fourth run of the game to score. Cade Coates ahead in the count 1-0. Now with nobody on, now gets to act as leadoff again. Instead of trying to bunt and move a runner up, he can just swing away. 4-0 lead for the Sixers. As another error cost the Jackson Giants. This one bobbled towards third, and another error is going to greet the Giants on the field. E5 over at third base. Wyatt Collins comes charging in and has the ball kick off his glove. Back-to-back errors from the Giants. Broden Robbins, who singled his first time up on a bunt that if you had walked out there and set the ball down in the midway point between home plate and third, it probably was within a 6-inch radius of that spot. It was perfectly placed down that third base line. First pitch to him misses, throw down to second, way up the line. Coates in with a stolen base, and the count goes to 1-0 on Broden Robbins. Another chance for Broden Robbins. Batting from that left-hand side. Again, bunted his first time. He'll put down another one, and that one almost better than the first one. Rolls in between the pitcher's mound and third. The person fielding it ends up being Garcia coming in from short. Those are two bunts that you want on film after things are over, because you want to take that in the offseason and show that to every player you have on your roster and say, when we say a push bunt, when we say a sacrifice bunt, those are the two that we just saw. Beautiful push bunt there from Robbins, and the sacrifice back in the first inning. Landon McAnally with runners on the corner steps up. Robbins takes off for second. They'll throw down to second base where Robbins slides in safely, and Coates on the delayed steal swipes another one for the Sixers coming in from third. Another 2 stolen bases for post 6. That's now 3 in this inning. 6 in the game for the Sixers. And another run across to make it 5-0 over the Jackson Giants. Game got started just about an hour ago. 7:12 was the first pitch of this one, and right now Jackson struggling nearly 50 minutes into it to get through the second inning. Delivery missing upstairs from Torres as McAnally gets ahead in the count 2-0. 1-1, excuse me. Umpire correcting that one. Torres will settle. Peeks back to the runner again at second, and another pitch outside as the count now goes to 2-1. See, I was just being a little bit early on my calls. That's all. I just knew what was going to happen. Clairvoyant. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. 2-1 count to the first baseman for the Sixers, who's probably the hottest bat for the Sixers. Cuts, and that one a comebacker that nearly takes off the ball cap of Torres. Around from second base to score is going to be Robbins, and into second base with a double is Landon McAnally. Landon on that double didn't really even hit it into a spot that would have been expected a double, just came in on a little bit of a slower reaction by the Giants to getting to that ball. Still nobody out. First 4 base runners have reached for the Sixers. This time a different vibe to it. They're barreling things up. A pair of doubles and a single along with an error have them sitting with a 6-0 lead. Sixers with 5 hits in the game so far. 2 errors made by the Giants as that pitch a called strike. Throw down to third base is not in time to keep McAnally from swiping a bag. 7 stolen bases now for post 6 in the game as they assault the base paths as soon as they get out there. Gary Harley, that's something about him. He is not afraid to use that tool often. This ball flowing out into shallow center field. Long run for Holding. Puts that one away. Runner tags. Throw comes in towards the plate and is airmailed. As scoring easily will be McAnally on the sac fly to make it a 7-0 lead. Sixers on top. The RBI going to Nolan Horton. Horton's got his first RBI of the game. Still no official at-bats for him as he was 0 for 0 after a walk in the first inning and getting cut down. Now a sac fly added to that as Pacheco steps to the plate. 1 away, so that's still just the first out. And Pacheco will spoil this pitch as he steps in after getting hit by a pitch his first time up. Sixers opponent tomorrow, assuming things continue rolling the way that they are, would be the Casper Oilers, who got a 9-2 victory over the Cheyenne Hawks earlier this evening. That game at 3:30. Hawks put up a good effort. Couple of miscues and some walks in the first couple of innings of that game as that pitch misses and the count goes to 2-1 on Pacheco. And nearly came back. One of the parents I was talking to took a rally walk, came back, and they put up 2 runs as a called strike moves it to 2-0 on Pacheco. That a floating curveball that stays in the zone. And after all of that excitement, the Sixers unfortunately gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the next frame to see Casper take a convincing 9-2 lead and finish that game off. Hawks will take on the loser of this contest in the 6 versus, as things stand, 6 versus 7 matchup as Pacheco fouls off a full count, and it stays 3-2 to the right fielder for the Sixers. 7-0 score in the bottom of the second inning. A game where writing on the wall for who's going to take this one. That pitch just misses on 3-2. Upper outside corner. An umpire flinched on it a little bit, but says, no, sir, that one was a little bit too high up. And Colin Crecelius will step up to the batter's box with a fresh count and a tired arm from Brandon Torres, who's been out there for a while in this inning. Threw 22 pitches in the first inning on the unofficial count. Up to 19 in this inning, 41 total in the game. Called strike. Crecelius sees the count go to 0-1. Working on that first base side of the rubber. Couple peeks back behind him, and another curveball misses way up. Runner takes off, and the perfect pitch for Pacheco to swipe the 8th stolen base for the Sixers in this one on, as that curveball didn't have any velocity to it and was also up in the zone, forcing the catcher to kind of have to jump up to get it. So with a 1-1 count, chance for Crecelius to try and bring home his first RBI of the game. Popped out to short his first time up, shows bunt, and he has to peel out of the way of that one to move the count to 2-1. And he was about to be seeing stars, instead able to see the baseball well and get out of the way. Just lost the grip on that fastball, did Torres. No intent on that pitch. Also, that's tough when you're showing bunt. You're kind of putting yourself into that range of action. As this ball hits sharply over towards third, it's going to end up being bobbled by the third baseman. Garcia from the back end recovers. It goes as a 5-6-3 putout. That is one of the more interesting and honestly impressive by Garcia. Showed off his arm getting that one across the diamond. I thought as soon as that ball was slowed down by the third baseman that thing was not going to be a play anywhere, especially when you saw Pacheco freeze at second base and force them to look him back for a second. But the Giants getting out, 2 of them onto the board, and now it's Braden Pearson, 8th batter of the inning, trying to bring home a 5th run of this inning as the ball kicks off of the catcher's glove, and Pearson gets ahead in the count 1-0. He hit a sharp ground ball over to third base where Collins knocked it down and got the unassisted put out for a fielder's choice on that play. A run did score for his RBI. Torres gets a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch away to Pearson, who is the pitcher of the year for the state of Wyoming's AA Legion Ball. Got that announcement earlier this year, too. Coming in out of the bullpen has been an absolute fire thrower for the Sixers. Offensively, as we said, trying to find that swing once more. It just misses on that cut on an off-speed pitch up, and the count goes to 1-2. He's wanting one more weekend up in Billings, and he's looking to try and help the Sixers team get there. 0 for 1 today, though. 1-2 count. That pitch popped up out to right field. Drifting a little bit, having some trouble initially, but putting it away. Milo Gray gets the out, and the inning is over, but not before the Sixers add another 4. 7-0. They lead the way moving into the top of the third inning. All Sixers here at Powers Field. You're listening to and watching 1480 K-Ray.
Ready to
Wyoming owned and up.
Ready to level up? Show your team pride every time you pay with the new lineup of FNBO Visa Debit Fan Cards. Free with any FNBO checking account. Unlike any card you've seen, with unique design, raised detail, and premium finish. Pay in style everywhere you go. The new collection, only from FNBO. Visit fnbo.com/debit to get yours.
Wyoming owned and operated since 1971, Burns Insurance is Wyoming's right choice for your insurance needs. Burns Insurance is a trusted choice, full-service, independent insurance agency offering a full range of commercial, agricultural, and personal insurance products through many national and regional carriers. Let our friendly, experienced agents help you find the right product at the right price for your asset protection. Buy the policy, get the agent at Burns Insurance, your right choice. Find Burns Insurance on Facebook or at burnsia.com.
Sixers moving into the top of the third inning with a 7-0 lead. Menke, Garcia, and Peterman will be the scheduled 3 for the Jackson Giants against Kian McDonough, who heads out for his third inning of work. He's been very efficient out there on the mound despite having some command issues early on. 16 pitches in each of his first 2 innings on the mound for 32 total in the game. So he's not only setting himself up to be able to be a possible participant on Friday for the Sixers, but setting himself up to go deep in this one. Misses with his first pitch to Menke, though. Menke will float this ball out into left center field. That is actually going to turn jerseys. That'll be a double for Menke, who's on his horse up to second base, loses the helmet as he glides in for that 2-bagger on a 1-0 count. That is the second hit for the Jackson Giants and has them hooting and hollering. And now the ball being misplayed by the Sixers, getting it back in, allow him to move up to third. An error on the Sixers this time. Second error on the scoreboard against the Sixers, according to the board here. As Garcia will step up to the batter's box with an opportunity to try and bring home the first run for the Giants. Just a mental miscue for the Sixers. McDonough working with nobody out. And you're looking for that shutdown inning with the score sitting where it's at. Giving up the 1 run, you might as well just write that one off. You'd be okay if you end up seeing that one surrendered. As the first pitch, by the way, swung on and missed by Garcia, who lined out into a bunt-out double play. His first time up, takes a pitch that misses, and the count goes to 1-1. Camrad's going to head out and have a quick word with McDonough. And you write off that run over at third, as you're not necessarily worried about your offense scoring at least 1 to replace it, and you have 7 of them to work with right now, and it's only the top of the 3rd inning. As that being the case, expect for a lot of pressure to be put on Garcia here to try and at least put the ball in play. He'll swing and miss at another fastball away as the count goes to 1-2. And I don't think that was necessarily a conversation on signs getting switched up. I think Camrad must have seen something from Garcia, and they're going to go with it out there on the mound. That pitch on the inside just missed. A couple in the crowd thought that one for sure should have been rung up as a strike, but home plate umpire says a bit too tight to Garcia. Count goes to 2-2 with nobody away. McDonough sets himself at the belt. Swing and a miss on the 2-2, sets him down. That is strikeout number 1 for McDonough in the game. Big one as you keep that runner at third base for 1 more out. Sam Peterman strides up to the plate. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. Peterman DHing for the Giants. As the first pitch misses outside of the zone, Camrad hustles to the ball. Throw on point to McDonough, but away from the play as it was up the first base side of the line, and a wild pitch ends up allowing the first run for the Giants to come across and score. So fresh slate for the rest of this one if you are the Jackson Giants. Absolutely nothing to worry about on that field as a called strike meets Peterman, and the count goes to 1-1. Peterman a little bit of a second glance at the umpire after that one. Didn't feel like that one caught the low outside corner. 1-1, that one catches the bat, flared out over towards right on the first base side, and that one drops foul for a simple number up onto the board. Count goes to 1-2 with 1 away. Top of the 3rd inning. Tomorrow's games, 9:30 should see Laramie and Rock Springs facing off against each other. That one checking his swing. Peterman, they say he went around, and that is a strikeout of immense proportions, becomes a wild pitch too late. Back-to-backs now for McDonough, and Wyatt Morrill step in from the left-hand side to work against the righty. Leadoff double that was turned into a triple on an error by the Sixers. Really the only difference in this game so far for the Giants that's keeping them with any type of confidence is a swing and a miss from Moore moves the count to 0-1 on the first baseman for the Giants. First time up, he ended up walking his first time up on 5 pitches, spoils that one foul to the near side. I think the Giants also starting to realize that McDonough with that big lead is not trying to work around them as much, more work at them a little bit more with the hard-throwing righty stepping back up onto the mound. Expecting to see potentially Hall on the mound tomorrow. Also Pearson could be the option for the Sixers. Marcus George, from the word I've been getting, being saved for day 3 on Wednesday, as that one swung on and missed. Camrad hustles over to pick up the loose ball, and 3 straight strikeouts around a opening double have the Sixers back to the dugout. The lead is down to 6, though, as the Giants scored their first run. 6 runs in front, 7-1. You're listening to Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate
At First Tier Bank, we strive to keep it simple. We offer great rates on a variety of CDs, and we don't make you open other accounts, or be a new customer, or use your debit card 12 times a month, or have a direct deposit to get them. We leave that nonsense to the new big green bank in town, or some colorful credit union. At First Tier, we simply invite you to come on in and call either of our 2 Cheyenne locations and get a great rate on a CD that fits your needs. Simple, the way it should be. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, or 18th and Cary in downtown Cheyenne. Member FDIC.
Caleb Burgraff here with you as Doug back in studio. Larry Proetti also has been seen wandering around both the ballpark and the offices this evening, as the Sixers seen wandering around the base paths quite a bit. Lead this one 7-1 as we move to the bottom of the third inning. The Sixers have sent 8 batters to the plate in each of the first 2, and they will continue to try and work against Brandon Torres, who is 49 pitches deep into this excursion. And I think you're just trying to use up this arm if you're the Jackson Giants. You want to see if he can get you through this game. The chances of coming back and winning right now are slim if you're the Jackson Giants. If you're kind of being honest with yourself, as this ball flared out into center is going to result in a quick out number 1. Braden Camerad on 1 pitch flies out on the way to holding, and we'll bring up Quentin King, who doubled his last time up, getting a ball out to center field past holding into the right center field gap. But going back to what I was saying, if you're the Jackson Giants, it's kind of play for tomorrow when you're going to take on the Hawks. Got a chance against a team that is the sister team to the Sixers. The first pitch missing downstairs to King has him ahead in the count 1-0. But not only that, but you also kind of set yourselves up with an advantage going into the game, which would be another elimination game on Wednesday against a team coming down from the loser, for the final teams coming down from the winner's bracket. King takes a pitch for a strike, and the count moves to 1-1 with 1 away. Bottom of the third inning. 6-run lead for Post 6 here on their home field at the state tournament. That pitch called a strike as it flutters in on a curveball, and the count goes to 1-2. A 7-1 lead on just 5 hits for the Sixers. That pitch upstairs. King patiently watches that one sail by, and the count goes to 2-2. Another 2-2. Poked over to the right side, up into the setting clouds. Some pastel colors off to the northeast of us, over the right field fence. Some hazy smoke in the air, some new fires starting off in eastern Colorado, adding a new haze to the areas. The 2-2 misses, and the count goes to 3-2. And just a picturesque day for baseball on the diamond. A beautiful breeze blowing, keeping things nice and comfortable out there and chasing away some of the humidity that was here earlier, as King will flare this ball out to center field, and for a second time Holding is going to hold on to another out. Back-to-back outs to the center fielder, and the inning progressing along beautifully for Torres, his best by far. Talk about 8 pitches, 2 outs. Cade Coates, the last chance for the Sixers, yet to be retired. 0 for 1, though, as he grounded out into an error his first time up and was hit by a pitch. He scored a couple of runs, though, on both of those trips on base and has a couple of stolen bases to his credit. He'll roll this one towards short, staying down on the ball and getting it across the diamond. Garcia for out number 3. And how about just 9 pitches, all it takes to retire the Sixers 1-2-3 in the third inning. We'll step to the fourth. Do the Jackson Giants have a rally left in them, as they are down by 6, nearing the midway point? You are listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Since 1986, here's a list of cars and SUVs I have purchased or leased for myself or my family from our local dealers here in Cheyenne. Kia Optima, Sorento, K5, 2 Chevy Blazers, Honda CR-V and 3 Pilots, Aztec, Villager, Trans Am, Pontiac GT, and Grand Am. What do all these vehicles have in common? Well, for service work, even if it was just a simple oil change, they were taken care of by Shine Auto Repair and Service. Larry Pro-Audi for Cars in Cheyenne, where John and his great team has always been there to take care of the Pro-Audi vehicles, and yours too. John is a TechNet professional, which means he is one of the best in the country to service your car or truck. Make sure your maintenance or minor repair doesn't turn into a major problem. Call Shine Auto Repair and Service today to set up an appointment at 632-0498 or stop in at 604 West Lincoln Way. Shine Auto Repair and Service open Monday through Friday and taking care of your vehicle's needs for over 30 years.
Jackson Giants will be sending up the middle of the order, Cope, Holding, and Collins to try and work against Kian McDonough. Pitched a 2-hit, 1-run affair so far through 3 innings of work. McDonough has definitely impressed and done exactly what the coaching staff was hoping he would do, and that's go and pitch efficiently. He's 46 pitches deep into this one as Cope steps in, and the first pitch misses to the left fielder. Cope, first time up, popped out to the catcher behind home plate. Camerad grabbing that one to get out of a first and second 2-out jam. This time Cope will spit one over to the left side for a single and another leadoff base runner for the Jackson Giants. Every inning they have gotten the leadoff man on. They just have not necessarily been able to work him around to score runs. Sixers have done a great job of limiting that damage once they've gotten them out there onto the base paths. Still a 6-run lead for the Sixers as Holding will step up to the batter's box. 1 for 1 today. He singled back in the second inning and was left at third. Missing outside and away, McDonough falls behind another batter. Giants come into this game 10-32-1. Went 2-12 in Legion play as this ball poked over into right field. That's going to touch down. Cope had to wait to make sure Pacheco wasn't going to come in and get that one on the ground or just save that one off of the ground. But back-to-back singles for the Jackson Giants. Now 4 hits in the game for the Giants. And Wyatt Collins, who grounded out to short his last time up, will step to the batter's box. Slow roller up the middle for Collins the first time that he was beaten out trying to get down the line. Playing over at third base today. Kind of Pablo Sandoval-esque as he steps into that right-handed box. Very open stance. No gloves on, which is a rarity in this day and age. And the first pitch misses inside as he gets ahead in the count. 3 straight batters that McDonough has missed to, 2 of them with base knocks so far in this game. The Giants trying to put some pressure onto the Sixers and Kian McDonough. That one hit up towards second base. King on to Coates for 1, over to McAnally for 2, and they get the runner over at third into a pickle. Throw back to Camerad at home for the triple play. 4, 6, 3, 5, 2. And send them home and put it in the books. The Sixers pulling out some defensive wizardry as they send themselves to the dugout with a 7-1 lead intact. On to the bottom of the 4th we go.
I always get a kick when I see ads for a huge vault of silver they found, or they get their gold from a certain company. Hi, this is Larry Pro-Audi for the Coin Shop in downtown Cheyenne. Family owned and operated since 1982. You can buy and sell your gold or silver, along with other precious metals, including palladium and platinum, at the Coin Shop each Tuesday through Friday. You'll always get top dollar for your gold or silver, as David Brockman has his eye on the precious metals market each day. So stop on by for a fair and honest appraisal of your precious metals, or give David a call and set up a time to stop by. You'll always find coin collections, collectible coins, proof and mini sets, and more today. So why wait for the others? Shop the Coin Shop in historic downtown Cheyenne at 510 West 16th Street, open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Or give them a call at 778-7196.
Welcome back out to Powers Field, 1480 K-Ray, as we are just about to 8:30, heading to the bottom of the hour, and the Sixers, my goodness, What a way to close out the last frame. 6 pitches, all it takes for Kian McDonough. And they close it out on a 4-6-3. Oh, by the way, 5-2. Triple play to get out of the top of the 4th inning. Great way for the state tournament to get rolling. Broden Robbins, 2 for 2 on the day, talking about having great state tournaments so far. 1-0 the count. As the wind and fire is swung on and missed to move it to 1-1 to the left fielder for post 6. 2 singles, 3 stolen bases for Robbins, and 2 runs scored. He has not just set the table, he's brought the meal. Done a little bit of the baking for you as he gets ahead in the count now 2-1. Decided to make some freshly squeezed lemonade and has a Sunday dinner all planned out for you as this one misses upstairs and the count goes to 3-1. He's been doing it all, but that's just setting the table for McAnally, who's really been bringing home the meat of the pantry so far for the Sixers. He's got a double and a single, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. Deep breath. Leadoff walk surrendered to Robbins. He gets on base after the Sixers were held scoreless and went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Very different start to this one. McAnally gets up to the plate with a runner on first base. 2 for 2 day that he's been enjoying so far. We mentioned it, the 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases as well. Seen 7 pitches from Torres, who is trying to keep things stuck at 7-1, bottom of the 4th inning. Nobody out for the Sixers, who will put Robbins into motion. That ball airmailed into center field, and Robbins is going to scoot up after the stolen base to 3rd base on the error and slides in safely. E2 on the error out into center field as that one was airmailed. That's now 9 stolen bases in the game for the Sixers. And Landon McAnally, who's batting with an 0-1 count, now just has to roll the ball in play in order to bring home that runner at 3rd base. Wine and a fire from the righty. This ball popped up foul. That one's going to make it out of the stadium and to the concrete waiting behind the bleachers. Do it over on 0-2. Wine and a fire. That one lifted into shallow left field. That's a long run. They're going to get to that one. Robbins thought about forcing the issue. The throw comes in from left field, and it's a good thing they didn't because Akaika Cope was right on the money with his throw back into the catcher. So just a fly out to left field on a shallow pop-up. Nolan Horton now steps up. He's got a sac fly to his credit on a fly ball to right field. Also walked, so he's still searching for his first official at-bat. Right-hander with a wide stance at the plate. Takes that one off of the catcher's glove, gets away from him off the umpire, and then the throw into the pitcher covering home plate is not in time to get Broden Robbins, who scores another run on a wild pitch. That's actually, I'm assuming, that's a pass ball. That one easily catchable by the catcher. That one just pops up off of his glove, and when it hits the umpire right off of the catcher, that usually says it was in your frame. 8th run for the Sixers, though. They push the lead back up to 7. 8-1 on the Pepsi scoreboard. Just 5 hits for the Sixers in the game to do it, as a foul ball from Horton moves the count to 1-1. 3 runs gives you a chance to close it out in the top of the 5th. As you look for that run rule and a chance to make sure that McDonough has an opportunity at the complete game. Torres catches the zone on Horton. The count goes to 1-2. And Torres, to his credit, after those first 2 innings, I was thinking he might not make it through the 3rd. Goes 9 pitches in the 3rd inning to retire the side in order. 2 flyouts and a ground ball. As this ball served out into left field and adjusted on as initial sprint had Cope running past that one, but he reaches back behind his right shoulder and pulls it back in for out number 2. nearly disaster for the Giants on a ball that was lined almost right to the left fielder. And Nolan Horton denied a base knock as Anthony Pacheco steps up to the batter's box. He's also looking for his first opportunity for a base knock, hit by a pitch and walked. 2 for 2 in terms of getting on base, but has not found the lumber yet. As he takes the first pitch for a strike, Pacheco, no run scored either, does have a stolen base. Saw 7 pitches in his last at-bat to earn that walk. Takes that pitch off of the elbow, and he still has not recorded an official at-bat. And so many times you give up that 2-out base runner easily, the opposition, regardless of team, regardless of sport, will take advantage of it and make a huge push, and that's what the Sixers are looking to do with 2 outs and the bottom of the order due up. Colin Crecelius pops out to short and also grounded out into a 5-6-3 out. It was not a double play. It was just off of the third baseman's glove over to short. As the pitch inside misses, ball pops out of the second baseman's glove and in with another stolen base is Pacheco, his second of the game. 1-0 the count on Crecelius, who gets himself ahead. 0 for 2 on the day for the third baseman for the Sixers. A little bit of happy feet in that right-handed box as he gets himself comfortable and settled. Now plants everything, peers to the pitcher and turns on a ball towards short. Garcia, with the runner moving in front of him, has trouble, fires on to first, where safe is the call as the throw trying to be stretched for by Wyatt Moore just pulls his back foot off of the bag. And a good hustle down the line by Crecelius on the E6. And the inning continues for the Sixers, and we go back to it again. The more you start seeing problems show up out there on the field in this inning, the more chances the Sixers have to really just push the boulder right back down. This ball turned on by Pearson, back out to center field, but guiding it into his glove for out number 3 ends up being Daringer Holding as he gets out number 3. And the Sixers, despite putting runners onto the corners, only strike for 1 run in the bottom of the 4th. It's 8-1. We head into the 6th inning. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes, let's go!
That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
At Fat Boys Tire and Auto, our business is about more than just selling tires and fixing cars. We believe in faith, family, and community. The Fat Boys family has been serving Wyoming and Nebraska for over 50 years, and 3 generations later, our values have never changed. When you need tires or auto repairs, find the Fat Boys, and we'll treat you like family. Fat Boys Tire and Auto in Cheyenne, Laramie, Scottsbluff, and Wheatland. Get price quotes and schedule service at fatboystires.com.
Sixers continuing to look to Kian McDonough out on the mound as we welcome you back out on 1480 K-Ray to Powers Field. Great day for some baseball action. A little bit of haze in the air, but for the most part, it has been pristine here at the yard. And as the temperature is dipping just a little bit towards the low 80s, Sixers push the lead up to 8-1, a 7-run advantage over the Jackson Giants. As for the Giants, it'll be 8-9-1 due up. Milo Gray, Bryce Greenblatt, and Brandon Menke trying to make it as difficult as possible for the Sixers to walk this one off in the bottom of the 5th. McDonough coming off of a triple play in the last inning, gave up leadoff singles to Kaika Cope and Daringer Holding, but a 4-6-3-5-2 triple play ended up getting the Sixers back into the dugout and the offense up, and they were able to get a run back in the bottom of that 4th inning. Cam Red breaking up his conversation with McDonough. No activity. Well, no, there are a couple of shadowy forms, I think, down in the bullpen that I saw. McDonough starts off with a strike to Milo Gray, though. Well, that might have been a fan walking in front. Yep, there he is. Brendan Romero, it looks like, getting himself loose in case he's needed. As McDonough sees this one fouled off, and the count goes to 0-2. Romero, you would guess, would probably be a 6th inning appearance if needed. He's been in that role quite a bit for the Sixers this year. As this ball rolled over towards short. Coates throws this one wide of McAnally. He's able to keep it from sailing into the fencing, but it's an E6 on Coates, who gives another leadoff man on. 5 straight innings now for the Jackson Giants. They've gotten the leadoff runner on. They've only taken advantage of it once, though, back in the 3rd. That's something that makes you a little bit nervous in that dugout, I'm sure, as a coaching staff. When you see a trend like that starting at the beginning of a tournament, you want to shut that down going into tomorrow's game against Casper. That pitch finds the zone, and again ahead is McDonough. Greenblatt taking that blistering fastball for a strike, and the count at 0-1 to the number 9 batter in the order. First time up, grounded out to second weekly. Takes upstairs on that pitch as a snap throw down to first base, has Gray diving back to the bag, but safe on the Camarade fire. It's the count at 1-1. Light starting to really take hold here at Powers Field as we've ticked past 8:30. This ball flared out towards right field. The long run for Pacheco. Reached the glove out, but out of his grasp on that one. Gave it a fantastic effort trying to hustle over there to the left field corner, right field corner, and just had it escape his reach. Moves things back to the plate with a 1-2 count. McDonough gets the ball from the umpire. Umpire making sure the ball didn't come in from right field. And with a 1-2 count, McDonough looking for out number 1 in the top of the 5th inning. One runner on an error made by Coates. This ball's just fought off with a piece of it. McDonough definitely all right pitch count-wise. He's thrown 7 in this inning. 59 in the game unofficially by my tally. He's working deliberately on the mound with the runner on first. Wines fires, gets a ground ball right back to him, trying to turn another double play. Coates on the feed from McDonough, fires it on to first, and 1-6-3 twin killing. The Sixers have now picked up 2 double plays and a triple play in this game. Fantastic defense, and that's going to do it for McDonough as his 60th pitch is going to see Brendan Romero get the call from the bullpen. He'll head to the dugout, having done his job. Back after this 90-second timeout for Brendan Romero coming out for the Post 6 Sixers as they head to their bullpen. Top of the 5th inning, an 8-1 lead for Post 6 on 1480 K-Ray.
When you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And there's no one that knows that feeling like Cheyenne Allstate agent Jason Gilbert, because he works every day to get people like you the coverage they need with the savings they deserve. Contact him for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate, suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows.
At First Tier Bank, we strive to keep it simple. We offer great rates on a variety of CDs, and we don't make you open other accounts, or be a new customer, or use your debit card 12 times a month, or have a direct deposit to get them. We leave that nonsense to the new big green bank in town, or some colorful credit union. At First Tier, we simply invite you to come on in and call either of our 2 Cheyenne locations and get a great rate on a CD that fits your needs. Simple, the way it should be. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, or 18th and Cary in downtown Cheyenne.
Brendan Romero, the new starter, or new pitcher, I should say, out there on the mound for the Sixers, as he'll work with one out needed to get through the fifth inning in an 8-1 lead for Post 6. Numbers this year, 2 starts, 18 total games for Romero, 28 1/3 innings of work. He does have a 1-2 win-loss record on the season so far. 15 earned runs, 20 total runs given up, 22 hits given up. The real problem has been the walks, 38 of them so far, nearly 2 walks per inning on the season. Does give up 2.1 runners per inning, walks, hits, versus innings pitched. Has a 224 batting average against him, though. So when he can be effective, he is very, very strong out there. Just needs to make sure he's consistently inside of the strike zone. Can't get too wild out there on the diamond. As Romero will work against the top of the order, Brendan Menke and David Garcia, if it gets to him. Nobody on after the double play got McDonough out of the last frame. And quick back off of the mound by Romero will have us wait one more second for pitch number 1, of his appearance on the mound. Tomorrow's games, Laramie and Rock Springs, 9:30. Hawks against the loser of this one, most likely Jackson, will be 11:30. Then in the afternoon games, Gillette will take on Sheridan in the 3:30 contest, and the Sixers and Oilers they'll face off in the 6:30 contest, assuming things stay where they're at, as the first pitch from Romero misses high to Menke. 18 batters faced for Kian McDonough, as we can give you some of the numbers from McDonough. That pitch misses, and the count goes to 2-0. 3 strikeouts for McDonough, all of them coming in a row. And I apologize, Hawks and Jackson will be at 12:30. 12:30, not 11:30. So I appreciate the help out on that one. Today it was 2 double headers, rather, as they were put 2 hours apart, 9:30, 11:30. So tomorrow it goes to 3 hours between games. Part of the other one was opening ceremonies and getting stuff settled for that one, but excited for the action as we get set for a long week of baseball here in Cheyenne. First batter that Romero faces ends up surrendering the walk to 4 pitches out of the zone. In fact, I believe. No, he did find 2 in the zone there. Full count, walk on 6 pitches. Brendan Menke gets himself out there. Going back to the work on the mound for McDonough, as up to the batter's box, Garcia takes a pitch upstairs. 4 hits surrendered, only walked 1 batter. Did hit 1 batter and had 1 error in the field behind him, but only gave up 1 run. It was earned, as that pitch just misses. And the count goes to 2-0 to a second consecutive batter. Really wanted that one on the outside. The biggest impressive part, 2 double plays and a triple play for McDonough on the mound, shows he was getting some good ground balls, as that ball called a strike, and the count goes to 2-1 on Garcia. 2 away, top of the 5th inning, a 7-run lead for the Sixers. Looking for 3 in the bottom of the 5th to try and cap this one off and send them into that 6:30 game tomorrow with some fresher arms. As that pitch misses, count goes to 3-1. Romero already's walked 1. This would be his 40th walk of the season, were he to lose Garcia on this 3-1 pitch. And you have Peterman, who's the designated hitter, waiting in the on-deck circle. 3-2 pitch gets him back into the count. Garcia, facing 3-2, strides back into that right-handed box. Got to think Romero will be back out for the 6th. If you get there, you're looking for your offense with 8, 9, and 1 due up to try and turn the record player around for a couple of tunes and a couple of runs. Although this same stretch of the order, last time they led things off, went 1, 2, 3 in the 3rd inning for the Sixers. That was fly out, ground out. 3-2 count after Garcia fouling that last pitch off. 7th pitch of this at-bat. Romero on the 2nd straight full count Nods the head. Runner takes off. Called strike. Sets him down. A floating changeup right down the barrel. And a nice job of Romero getting the out on his final batter of that inning. We'll step aside, back to the bottom of the fifth. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Here at Kia of Cheyenne, we're having a grand opening sale with the savings on new Kias. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and right now you could save even more on a new 2025 Kia Telluride. The 2025 Kia Telluride will surprise you with standard features, versatility, and comfort for a better value than what's available elsewhere. Stay close to home and pay less here at Kia of Cheyenne. Come by and check out our upgraded facilities. Call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Moving to the bottom of the fifth inning, Braden Camerad, Quentin King, and Cade Coates, the scheduled three for the Sixers, who lead it 8-1 on the Pepsi scoreboard over the Jackson Giants. Sunset off in the west of us is absolutely stunning here at Powers Field as we get a view of the lights and a view of that beautiful green grass that's been working its way all summer just to present itself for this exact moment in the biggest tournament of the year held here at Powers Field. Camerad will be working against Torres, who's out there for his fifth inning of work. After the way this game started, didn't expect him to be out there for a fifth inning of work, but he has gathered himself together after throwing 50 pitches in the first two innings, just 25 in the next two. 76th pitch unofficially of the game misses to Camerad and has him ahead in the count 1-0, and now 2-0 as that one bounces up to the catcher for the Sixers, who is 0 for 2. Fly out and a ground out. He led off the last 1-2-3 inning for Brandon Torres with a fly out to center field. Got underneath it a little bit too much. Torres works into the windup and fires another one that just dips low, and now 3-0 the count to Braden Camerad. On one hand, if you're the Giants, shortening this game means that your bullpen can also save some arms going forward. As 4 pitches out of the zone in a row, Camerad heads down to first. So on the one hand, the game being shortened to a 5-inning game would help you out as well. On the flip side of things, you never want to tell players, hey, we're not planning to win this game. Although you got to think, while there is some stretching down in the bullpen, it looks like, for the Jackson Giants, or at least somebody's down there by that corner. Might be apparent just against the fence in that corner. There's a bunt shown by Quentin. King is called for being going at it. King behind the count 0-1. Snap throw down to first was not in time, and back safely is Camerad. I believe that's still Camerad. I don't think they pinch ran for him. It is still Camerad. See if King has the bunt still on here. And Sixers needing 3 to extend, or to shorten, I should say, as that ball pulled back and the count goes to 1-1. Another bunt shown by Quentin King. Leading this one by 7 right now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Just looking to try and close out the Jackson Giants. Would be the second run rule game of the day. Gillette and Rock Springs the only other one. Gillette putting up 7 runs in one of those innings. As this ball bunted down the first base line, and King beats it out down the line for an infield single. A long time for Torres to get off of the mound and get to it. Puts runners on first and second. And now the top of the order, representing the tying or the walk-off run, Cade Coates will get an opportunity. Sixers do have decent speed out there, although Camerad not known for his stolen base abilities. King definitely is. He's got the faster of the two. Bunt shown again by Coates, but he takes it for a ball upstairs. Sixers looking to try and defend their home field and get themselves win number 1 of the state tournament, win number 45 of the season. Entered as the number 2 overall seed with a tiebreaker against Casper. They really get to break that tie tomorrow in a 6:30 game as Coates puts another bunt down. This one right back to the pitcher. Throw down to first is in time, and the sacrifice works out. 1-3 on the putout. Camarad moves up to third. King moves up to second and brings up Broden Robbins to the plate. He's yet to be retired. A walk, 2 singles, 4 stolen bases. And 3 runs scored. He's been impressive. Hasn't gotten an RBI in the game yet. Looking for his first one of those with 1 away. Runners on second and third. Takes a pitch low. As the count goes to 1-0 to the left fielder today. Problems, you'll expect to see him on the mound at some point in time. He's been an impressive pitcher out of the bullpen and in some starts for the Sixers this year. Here trying to bring home a couple of runs. Takes a pitch inside as the count goes to 1-1. In the 6th inning, were it to get there, Sam Peterman, Wyatt Moore, and Akaika Cope, the scheduled 3 for the Jackson Giants. Torres missing upstairs, sees the count go to 2-1. Walk him, you bring up the worst bat you can imagine if you are the Giants. That's Landon McAnally, who's got a double and a single and 2 RBIs in the game so far as Robbins fouls that pitch off of himself at home plate and moves the count to 2-2. Want to at least get 1 out of this inning if you're the Sixers, though. That's a key. Trying to save some of those arms out of the bullpen. That one bounces up again, and we got a full count. Torres missing with an off-speed pitch that he lobs up in front of home plate. It's up to 14 pitches in this inning, 89 pitches now in the game. He's still got some to work with, about 25 before he reaches that 100 pitch mark. As this ball sent over towards first, quick step onto the base for out number 2. As Wyatt Moore is able to handle the bottle for 3 under assisted, but coming around to score, Braden Camarad, gets the 9th run for the Sixers. 9-1, Sixers lead this one by 8, and it brings up Landon McAnally with Nolan Horton behind him. McAnally, 2 RBIs in the game so far, 2 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, 2 for 3 on the day. The lefty, with another run sitting out there 90 feet away, will step into the box. And he will take a pitch at the knees for a strike as the count goes to 0-1. Romero will most likely be the pitcher coming back out in the 6th inning for post 6 if it gets there. Torres, that one right back at him into center field for a base knock, and McAnally places the walk-off run on the base paths for the Sixers as he brings home the 10th run of the game, making it 10-1 post 6. Nolan Horton looking to try and close this one out, looking for his first hit, 0 for 1 officially. A sac fly out to center and also a walk, but he was cut down on a fielder's choice moving up to third back in the 1st inning. Torres trying to get through a 5th inning of work. Wines fires and catches the outside corner to put Horton behind 0-1. Find a gap, you can probably score McAnally from first. Doubt they put him in motion with the big lead. He's off to a little bit of a walking start. Stays where he's at, though, and another called strike, and Horton has him behind the count 0-2. Anthony Pacheco waits on deck from him. He's been hit by a pitch twice and walked. So no official at-bats for Pacheco. 0-2 with 2 away. Torres missing inside. McAnally takes off as staying up in the count. Horton stays alive with a good eye on a fastball inside. McAnally picks up his third stolen base of the day. 3 hits, 3 stolen bases. I think most coaches would take that one too. 1-2 count on Nolan Horton. Right-hander waggles that bat. Crouch stance in the right-handed batter's box. And the pitch to the plate bounces up. Good block in front of there to keep it in front of him by the backstop Brendan Menke. 2-2 count now to Nolan Horton. Base knock is all it takes. Don't even need the extra base hit now. Just need to find a single. Deuce is wild in the bottom of the 5th inning. Horton looking for the walk-off. Can Horton hear a hit? Not on this swing. Pops one up over to the right side and putting that one away. No, dropping the ball in right field on the walk-off error is going to be Milo Gray, and the Sixers, thanks to McAnally's heads-up awareness to sprint around the bases, come away with the 11-1 victory in awkward fashion if you're a Jackson Giant fan. Sixers win it as we'll step aside 2 minutes. Final numbers and final recap. 2 minutes back after this on 1480 K-Ray.
Rock on Wheels is Wyoming's premier bicycle shop. The service department offers quality and experience with a 48-hour turnaround guarantee based on parts and availability. They even offer tune-ups for your current bike along with powder coating and sandblasting. So swing by the shop and take advantage of the awesome prices for great bikes like Trek and many other name brands. Rock on Wheels even offers bike rentals for the avid rider. They're proud to be locally owned and operated. You'll find Rock on Wheels at 900 East Lincoln Way. Call 637-0020 to start pedaling your way to a whole bunch of fun. When you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And there's no one that knows that feeling like Cheyenne Allstate agent Jason Gilbert, because he works every day to get people like you the coverage they need with the savings they deserve. Contact him for a free quote today. Allstate. You're in good hands. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Sixers with an impressive 11-1 victory over the Jackson Giants end up pushing their ticket to the semifinals where they'll take on the Casper Oilers, who got a 9-2 win over the Hawks earlier this evening. Gillette got a 10-0 win over Rock Springs. Sheridan blanked Laramie, as that is your day one numbers from the state tournament. For the Sixers numbers today, let's start with Kean McDonough, 4 2/3 on the mound, 60 pitches, gives up 1 run. It was earned. There was an error in the field behind him, 1 hit batter, 1 walk, 4 hits, and 3 strikeouts, 18 batters that he faced. Brenna Romero comes in, gets a third of an inning, faces 2 batters, throws 15 pitches, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, does not give up any runs in the 1 batter that he ends up facing off against. Offensively for the Sixers, lots of offense in this one for him. Cade Coates with a couple of runs scored, does go 0 for 2 on the day, hit by a pitch and reached on an error, does have 2 stolen bases to his credit. Broden Robbins with a heck of a day, 2 for 3 on the day for him, does get an RBI, scores 3 runs, steals 3 bases, and helps the 4 bases, and helps the Sixers get off to some good starts in both of the first 2 innings. Landon McAnally goes 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, including the walk-off game winner, 2 RBIs in the game and 3 stolen bases. Nolan Horton finishes the day 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts to his credit, but gets the error on a pop out on the last one to bring home the walk-off run. Anthony Pacheco does not record an official at-bat, 2 hit by pitches and a walk, no run scored, does get 2 stolen bases. Colin Crecelius 0 for 3 at the plate, a double play that he grounded out into, did reach on an error. Braden Pearson goes 0 for 3 on the day. Braden Camrad 0 for 2 on the day, reached on a walk and scored. Quentin King goes 2 for 3 on the day at the bottom of the order. Expect him to maybe be moved up in that order going into tomorrow's game against the Casper Oilers. As for us, that is going to put a nice little bow on to this game as the Sixers can feel good about themselves moving forward into tomorrow. Always nice when you get that 10-run rule victory for yourselves, but even beyond that, you just kind of feel good about the way that the team was responding to each other and reacting to each other out there on the diamond. We'll have action tomorrow starting at 6:15 here from Powers Field, as we'll have our pregame show leading up to the first pitch at 6:30 between the Sixers and the Casper Oilers. Until then, we want to thank our wonderful sponsors: Affordable Computer Repair, the Breadbasket Bakery, Kia of Cheyenne, Capital Lumber Company, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Frontier Days, Halliday Subaru, Wyoming's Department of Transportation, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, Two Doors Down, the Burns Insurance Agency, First Tier Bank, the Gill Window Company, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, the Cheyenne Depot Museum, Jason Gilbert, your Allstate Insurance Agent, Rock on Wheels, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Platte Valley Bank, the Coin Shop, and Pepsi of Cheyenne, bringing you a very happy 11-1 scoreboard as we'll send you to your regular programming. Once again, thank you for joining us here on 1480 K-Ray.